33 kilometers. That's all it takes to choke the global economy. At its narrowest point, the Strait of Hormuz is just 33 kilometers wide. Only a few kilometers on each side are actual shipping lanes. And through this tiny corridor flows nearly 20% of the world's oil supply. Every single day, close to 20 million barrels of oil pass through this waterway. Oil that powers factories in Asia, fuel that runs cars in Europe, energy that keeps American cities alive. And now imagine this. Missiles are launched, naval mines are deployed, insurance companies cancel war risk coverage overnight, tankers stop moving, engines shut down, anchors drop into open water. The strait closes. Within hours, oil prices explode. Within 2 days, global markets panic. Within a week, fuel shortages begin. And suddenly, the question is no longer whether the world will feel pain. The real question becomes, who collapses first? The Strait of Hormuz sits between Iran and Oman, connecting the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea. It is the only sea passage for major oil producers like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. This is not just a trade route. It is the world's energy artery. If it shuts down, the first 72 hours would be pure economic shock. Day 1, oil could surge to $150, even $200 per barrel. Stock markets fall sharply. Airline stocks crash. Energy stocks spike. Day 2, shipping firms suspend Gulf operations. Insurance premiums skyrocket. Governments hold emergency meetings. Day 3, Asia begins to feel the pressure. Countries like Japan and South Korea depend heavily on Gulf oil. Refineries slow down. Fuel prices jump. India faces rising inflation, a weaker currency, higher transport costs, and domestic economic pressure. And even China, despite diversifying its energy sources, would see manufacturing costs rise. Exports become more expensive, and supply chains tighten. Europe would not be safe either. Higher oil means higher electricity costs, higher heating bills, and more strain on industry. But the ripple effects don't stop at oil. When fuel becomes expensive, everything becomes expensive. Airline tickets double. Shipping costs increase. Food prices rise because transportation costs rise. Developing economies suffer the most. Countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka could face severe pressure. Import bills surge. Foreign reserves shrink. Inflation accelerates. The longer the closure lasts, the worse it gets. Now here's the strategic dimension. Iran sits on the northern side of the strait. For years, it has signaled that closing Hormuz remains an option under extreme pressure. But this is not simple. Closing the strait would also damage Iran's own economy. Its exports pass through the same waters. That's why the threat itself is often more powerful than the action. Even the possibility is enough to shake global markets. Can the world bypass Hormuz? Partially. Yes, and Saudi Arabia has pipelines to the Red Sea. The UAE has limited bypass capacity. But combined, they cannot replace the full volume that flows through Hormuz. Infrastructure limits make full substitution impossible in the short term. And building new routes takes years, not days. A narrow waterway, just 33 kilometers wide, yet capable of shaking the entire global economy. If it closes for days, markets panic. If it closes for weeks, inflation surges worldwide. If it closes for months, recessions, debt crises, and political instability follow. Because modern civilization runs on energy, and a major share of that energy flows through one choke point, the Strait of Hormuz. 33 kilometers wide, but powerful enough to move the world.